Straight ahead on CCX News, a problem that has gotten worse. A shortage of school bus drivers grows, how it may impact back-to-school pickups. Plus, a Scout's Honor, the memorial that pays tribute to the people and pets that protect and serve. And later, a tour of the tap rooms. In Backyard Getaways, we show you the unique ways local breweries are attracting new fans. CCX News starts right now.
Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us. The first day of school is only a week away, but local school bus companies such as First Student in Brooklyn Park are scrambling to find enough drivers. The shortage could cause delays in kids getting picked up. Meredith Hackler joins us now with more on the shortage. Meredith?
Yeah, Shannon, First Student Bus Company is contracted to transport students in the Osseo School District as well as many others in the metro area. But right now, officials with the company tell me this is the worst shortage that they've ever seen. However, this isn't the first year that this has been a problem. Tuesday is the big day. First Student is getting their drivers ready for the start of school. But there's a problem the company is facing.
We have about 163 routes. We transport 12,000 children to and from school every single day for Osseo, and we are still looking for about 30 drivers at this point.
Some might say the driver shortage is nothing new, but this shortage is worse than ever before.
This is probably about the third really challenging year in a row that we've had. I have been a safety professional for about the last 15 years, and this is the worst shortage that we have been through in quite some time.
Luckily, the company is big enough to make sure all their routes are covered.
We do bring in drivers from other communities. That's one of the benefits of First Student. We are the nation's largest provider of school transportation, so there's a lot of contracts out there that cooperate and share with us.
But all the shuffling around can create some issues.
Some of the drawbacks is that you don't have a regular driver every single day. It's going to be a different person, and so they don't build the rapport with the students that we would want them to. Maybe they're not familiar with the area because they're from other communities, and so there will be some delays and some hiccups, and we do appreciate the patience of parents through those times.
The company hopes parents can overlook minor bumps in the road, while they hope potential employees won't overlook school bus driver as a potential job. Officials from First Student said that filling all the drivers for their Minnesota routes is consistently an issue because the state has such a low unemployment rate. Shannon?
All right, thank you, Meredith. Now to an update on what the Brooklyn Park mayor says was the #1 issue brought up on National Night Out: door-to-door solicitors. It's an issue we delved into on yesterday's newscast. The Brooklyn Park City Council on Monday night approved changes to its solicitor ordinance. It will require anyone going door-to-door, doing door-to-door sales rather, to register with the city and undergo a criminal background check. Those who do not obey the city's licensing process could be arrested. The city also decided not to require some people to register, such as nonprofits, fundraisers, and political candidates. Public safety and snow removal in Plymouth could soon undergo some significant improvements. The City Council is studying a proposed budget increase of 5.5%. That money would help pay for 6 new full-time firefighters. City officials say the increased staffing would provide around-the-clock coverage for Plymouth and help with faster response times. The city's Public Works Department could also be able to add 4 new full-time employees, which would help the city provide better snow removal, especially in cul-de-sacs.
Through the recession, you know, everybody was keeping everything flat, not hiring new people, keeping the budget as flat as possible, and we did that for 3 or 4 years. But as a growing community, we've added 5,000 new people since 2008. We have to provide those services. We have to plow the streets. We have to provide the public safety services and all the other services. So it's very important that we keep up with that and have the same expectations for all of the residents in the community.
If the council approves the 5.5% budget increase, Plymouth residents living in a home valued at $350,000 would have to pay an additional $47 per year. A new memorial in Plymouth pays tribute to police K-9 officers. 16-year-old Sam Lieberman teamed up with the Plymouth Police Department to install a 4.5-foot tall bronze statue of a German Shepherd. The memorial is part of Sam's Eagle Scout project. He designed the pavers and concrete base. Sam is interested in law enforcement, and he wanted to do something to honor not only police, but K-9 officers too.
A lot of people recognize the officers, the people that support law enforcement, but they don't recognize the dogs as much as they do the officers, and I hope this will bring that recognition and awareness to the officers. It feels great. I'm so happy we were able to finally do this.
Sam raised more than $6,500 for the memorial. The Lions clubs of Plymouth and Wayzata also contributed. The Plymouth Police Department has 3 K-9 officers, and they appreciated Sam's hard work.
Sam put so much time, heart, and dedication into this. We just assisted him. He's the one that had the vision and the goal set for this. We welcomed this, but this was all on him. He worked with us, and we worked with other departments within the city. But again, this was his vision and goal, and he did all the work.
And if you'd like to see the memorial, it is located on the northwest side of the Plymouth Public Safety Building. A heads up for drivers in northern Maple Grove. A railroad project will force the closure of Zachary Lane for the next few days. Zachary Lane will be closed just south of County Road 81 starting at 6 a.m. Wednesday. It lasts through Friday evening. The closure will allow BNSF Railway to remove and replace the existing railroad crossing. And check out what a group of volunteers called the Graesar Park Angels accomplished in Robbinsdale. The volunteers held a cleanup day to try to unearth the overgrown park along Highway 100. The photos of their work are impressive. Volunteers even dug a few inches of dirt off of a buried pathway. This is part of an ongoing effort to restore the park that used to be part of a system of roadside parks called the Lilac Way. Still ahead, the different ways local tap rooms are attracting new customers. Plus, later in sports, the Maple Grove volleyball team has a new coach and high expectations this fall. But first, high weather expectations too. Sunshine and comfortable temperatures on Wednesday. Today in Backyard Getaways, we raise a toast to local tap rooms. As Eric Nelson found out, there are a couple in the northwest suburbs gaining attention and also trying different things to attract a new legion of fans.
I think breweries are community hubs, like especially tap rooms, so it's a place where you can come and be yourself.
This week's Backyard Getaways is a thirst-quenching tale.
This beer was listed as one of the top 5 beers you got to drink in the month of August.
Tap rooms are exploding in Minnesota. There are more than 140 in the state, including 2 in the northwest burbs. One of them is the Omni Brewing Company in Maple Grove.
We like where we are. We're big enough to do some distribution, but not to be entirely reliant on it.
In just 3 years, the Omni Brew Crew has carved a niche in the ultra-competitive beer business.
We're about the 25th biggest brewery in the state as far as how much beer we ship.
At Omni, there are locally inspired drinks.
We've got beers like Shantytown, Grove, and Lake Day.
Or the popular Tropical Milkshake IPA, which is made of vanilla beans, hops, and fruit puree.
To have this big flavorful bomb and have it be so successful is really, really exciting.
Omni has a low-key vibe compared to most bars, and sometimes there is even love in the air.
We've had people get engaged here that went on their first date at Omni.
There has also been an organic growth of cornhole, cribbage, and yoga at Omni.
We have 10 different beers on tap, one for everybody.
Next on tap in our tap room tour is Wicked Wart in Robbinsdale.
We got a bunch of different beers fermenting in here, some of our regulars like the Blonde, the Kolsch, the Raspberry Wheat, but then also, some new beers that we have coming out.
Wicked Wart's staple beers are the Birdtown Blonde and a raspberry wheat ale called Showgirl. Wicked Wart has become a go-to destination in trendy downtown Robbinsdale.
They walk in and they're like, holy cow, I didn't know this was here. I thought this was an old bank. Because everybody thinks at one time was an old bank.
Bank vaults have now been replaced by super kegs, which keep the suds flowing.
It's pushing right out into the tap that you drink out of.
Wicked Wart is more than beer. They host a movie night and also have yoga classes.
We do free tours on the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays of the month at 7 o'clock. And if you bring a canned food donation for Prism Food Shelf, we'll get you a free pour of beer, so that's a pretty good trade.
They like the old school atmosphere. It's very, very chill. I mean, it's a very chill place.
Pretty relaxed around here. It makes for a peaceful vacation-like experience.
For Backyard Getaways, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
Still ahead, the mellowing sounds of Marimba music thanks to students at Breck. But first, after a tough season last fall, the Hopkins football team aims to bounce back this season. Jeg Wilcox is in next.
TJ Wilcox with sports. Many fall high school sports teams are starting their seasons this week, some with new coaches. That includes the Maple Grove volleyball team. John Jacobson has more.
It's a fresh start for the players and their head coach. Courtney Sabat comes to Maple Grove from White Bear Lake High School. The Illinois native likes what she sees so far in the Crimson program. The transition for a first-year head coach and the athletes can be a mixed blessing, though.
It's nice to come in with a clean slate because I don't know them, they don't know me, so I get to see them based off of, their mental and physical talent. But the transition of coming into any new program is always difficult, and getting the trust.
It is a new process. It's something different. We're running new drills, not doing the same things that we were doing before. But I think it's a good fit. I think everything's going to work out.
While the Crimson certainly graduated some good players, there is talent to work with. Outside hitters Skylar Gray and Lexi Preed are back from last year, along with setter Zoe Brown. Allie Hinsey is a returning starter, but is out until at least mid-season with a back injury.
We have some younger players, so hopefully we can get them, into the groove. They're really looking up to the returners, to kind of help them out. And everyone's doing really well, including them and making sure we're having a good team chemistry.
Early practice emphasis has been on mastering basic skills. Playing sound fundamental volleyball can go a long way towards success.
Without basics, you're getting nowhere. It all starts in practice. So we're going to work hard in practice, and the work that we put into practice should transition into a good game.
It's always about beating the team in the fifth game. Who can outbeat them with stamina and endurance, and they've done an awesome job. So I'm pleased. Yep.
In Maple Grove, John Jacobson, CCX Sports.
Maple Grove opens the season tonight, Tuesday, against Andover, and hosts Wayzata on Wednesday. The Hopkins football team had a tough 2017 season, but the Royals were very young. With a lot of those guys back for 2018, expectations are higher. Here's Jason Malolo with today's training camp report.
Hopkins head coach John Den Hartog has turned the page on last season. Still, a 1-8 record is a strong motivator to get better.
It just puts a little bit of a chip on our shoulder. I feel like last year everybody knew that we were young, that it wasn't going to be the greatest season, but now that we have that, has a little bit of push going into this year.
We've got a great senior leadership group, and I think that we've talked through that. And that's a great motivator, especially on, like, this is our last two-a-day practice of 2 weeks of it. Their bodies are tired, their bodies are sore, and that's one of the things that helps get them up, motivate them, get them going and working hard and listening. So we will definitely use that as a motivator throughout the season.
The Royals offense will try to utilize its speed. Center Jack Glanzer will anchor the offensive line, and running back Jaden Washington has playmaker potential.
We've improved a lot. We've actually got another offensive coordinator, something that we've never had before. Usually Coach D would call the plays, and he came in, he just he changed it a little bit, he tweaked it to make it better, and I just feel like we're different.
At quarterback, senior James Klecker returns, and the experience he gained last year will be valuable.
Klecker under pressure, throws deep over the middle, and it's complete.
To make up for a lack of size, playing fast will be the Royals' style on defense as well. A.J. Campbell is an athletic cornerback, and Reagan Holmes will anchor the defensive line. And Hopkins believes it has a very special player in sophomore linebacker R.J. Chikolis. He started last season as a freshman and led the team in tackles.
RJ is a very good athlete, but that's not really what makes him a great player. He's just so incredibly football smart. In the time it takes him to dissect a play and then make a read on it and go explode on it, that time for a high school player is really uncanny on how he can figure things out. He's such a cerebral player out there. He's really impressive.
Coach Den Hartog describes some of his guys as being like a whole new person because they worked so hard in the offseason. Now the Royals will aim for a whole new outcome in 2018. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Here's a rundown on the Royals. John Den Hartog starts his 15th season. 6 offensive and 7 defensive starters return. Their first game is Thursday at home against Apple Valley. And that's all for sports. Shannon, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jay. Up next, music for the soul. And finally, practicing up a storm in preparation for the state fair. Here's Neil Persley.
Our next song is probably the tune that best says Botto Botto.
The music is incredible. I actually got, I would call, an addiction to this kind of music. All the old, deep, really deep percussion in the music makes it seem like if it's possible to imagine a music 3 feet deep as opposed to maybe a foot deep, and I got addicted to that sound, and I've been playing like crazy ever since.
The addicting sounds Botto Botto.
It means the dancing place.
Produces don't happen by accident. Several weeks before the school year even started, the group began intense practice sessions in preparation for this coming weekend on the International Bazaar stage at the State Fair.
We've had 2 weeks of solid practices every day, about 3 hours each.
I love practicing and I love going to performances. Bonding with the people is great, talking to them, playing with them, but the music is what kind of makes us all in a better mood.
Breck faculty member Carrie Syrian directs the band, but Botto Botto is a very student-led group, and all the members are sophomore and higher. In their freshman year, students can join Batitos in preparation for playing with the more experienced group.
We teach each other the parts. There's no sheet music or anything like that, and so it's really cool. A lot of the older students they'll pass down the parts, and they might have put a little twist on it, a little personal adaptation to the part, and then they pass it down to the younger students, and then we learn it just through them showing us on the marimbas.
Botto Botto plays 25 to 30 shows a year, but turns down many more invitations. So if you can catch one of their shows Saturday or Sunday, you won't be disappointed.
We're cheering each other on, and I think it's a really close group, and we're all really good friends. We're very close, and so we're so tight-knit in that we're really working together and enjoying the music as a group and being supportive of each other.
From Breck School in Golden Valley, Neil Persley, CCX News.
Sounds good. Botto Botto performs 3 shows this Saturday and Sunday on the International Bazaar stage at the State Fair. Showtimes are posted on the State Fair website and, of course, on our website, ccxmedia.org. And that's all the news we have for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here again tomorrow starting at 4 o'clock.